What? Why aren't you eating, Iris? My sister-in-law asked me curiously, as I just sit and watched everyone start eating. I am not allowed to eat. That's why. It's gonna be a waste of money if I eat. Huh? When I answered honestly, my sister-in-law glared at my father-in-law and husband. Hey, Dad! Ken! What are you two doing? My name is Iris, a 35-year-old housewife. My husband Ken and I have been married for a year. After we married, I want you to be a full-time housewife. That's what my husband told me, so I quit my job and became a housewife. Honestly, I wanted to keep working, but I loved my husband so much that I followed his request and quit my job. After that, I made up my mind to be a good housewife and did my best to take care of around the house. Lately, I think I've been doing quite a good job. But things didn't go well when we first got married. Hey, Iris! Why are the eggs so hard? Oh, I'm sorry. You prefer your eggs half-cooked? Of course. Why can't you expect something so simple? What? Sorry. And what's this? I said I prefer croissants in the morning, didn't I? I can't have toast. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. When I started living with my husband, I was determined to do my best as a housewife. But I made a lot of mistakes at first, and I was depressed. And my husband kept pointing out things about my housework with every little thing. What's with the way you put the dishes in the sink? You can't drain water like that, can you see? You don't even understand something like that. I'm sorry. And the dinner you made. I don't care about the color or the balance. I don't need that many vegetables. Use my meat. More protein. Okay? My husband was just very picky. He gets angry over the slightest thing. I'm telling you, make all the clothes stored by color, okay? The jackets are hanging in different orders. See? Get it right. Now, God damn it. My husband raises his voice when things aren't even a little bit the way he wants them to be. I never saw this side of him when we were dating. So I was surprised at his attitude change after we married. He would get angry if I didn't keep the room very clean. There's still dust. Don't slack off. He would trace a corner of the room with his finger and yells at me like a mean mother-in-law in a soap opera. And he orders me to do all kinds of things in detail. But he never helps any of the housework. According to my husband, it's all his wife's job. So I worked very hard to do everything on my own. I always had to overcome his strict judgment. I was exhausted every day. Now that I am a housewife, I'd like to have lunch or tea with my friends during the day once in a while. But I have to take care of the cleaning, laundry, and cooking. That I didn't have time to do that. Still, I didn't think about getting a divorce. I had married my husband out of love, and I didn't want to go through with the divorce so easily. And although he said a lot of harsh things to me, I didn't feel that he disliked me. He just wanted me to be a housewife to his satisfaction. Looking back, I think I might have pushed myself too hard in this way. 3 years has passed since I lived like this. I thought that I would always live my life like this. But then, something sad happened. My mother-in-law passed away. My mother-in-law had been in bad health since I married my husband and had been hospitalized for some time. However, she never recovered and passed away without being discharged. My mother-in-law loved me very much. She was always kind to me. I have only been married to my husband for 3 years, but all that time I have truly adored my mother-in-law. One time, I was standing alone in a kitchen preparing the Thanksgiving meal. My mother-in-law quietly stood next to me and gently listened to my story. I know my boys are a bit of a pain in the ass, but please take care of them. You can tell me if you are having a hard time, okay, Iris? My mother-in-law seemed to know that my husband was demanding a lot of details without me telling her. She was my emotional support. As I laid flowers and looked at her gentle, kind face, tears welled up in my eyes. Iris, thank you for loving my mom. I think Mom would have been so happy to have you as Ken's wife. It was my sister-in-law, Holly, who approached me saying that. My sister-in-law is usually overseas for work. When she heard about my mother-in-law's death, she came back home temporarily. I hadn't seen my sister-in-law since my wedding 3 years ago. Like my mother-in-law, Holly is a very kind and friendly person. Even though it had been a long time since I had seen her, I did not feel distant from her at all. On the contrary, she consoles me like this. After the funeral, we all returned to my parents-in-law's house. My father-in-law looked sad after my mother-in-law passed away. My husband, who is usually so strict with me, was quiet with a sad expression on his face. When we were sorting through my mother-in-law's belongings, my husband made this proposal to me. Since my dad is getting old, why don't we move in here and live with him? I know how lonely it will be for him, you know, to be alone that Mom is gone. So I'd like to support him. When my husband said this, my father-in-law looked happy and said, Thank you, Ken. Well, what's your thoughts on this, Iris? My sister-in-law was listening to the conversation and asked me a question. I was surprised that my husband suggested that we live together, but I certainly felt sorry for my father-in-law living alone in this house. I think moving in together is the best way, and this place is close to Ken's workplace. When I said that, my husband and father-in-law looked very pleased. I'm glad you agreed, Iris. Thus, moved to my parents-in-law's house and started living with my father-in-law, but soon came to regret it. Hey, what are you doing? Wake up! My father-in-law woke me up out of the blue. What time is it? I looked at the clock in a panic, but it was only 4:30 in the morning. What's wrong? What happened? It's only 4:30 in the morning. What are you talking about? I've been up since 4 a.m. Get up and make breakfast. I stood in the kitchen in a hurry, totally confused, pushed by my father-in-law's words. You are a disgrace to your father-in-law, you know that? From now on, you will get up at this time every day. Oh no, I have to get up at 4:30 every morning? I have low blood pressure, and I am not good at moving around in the morning. But my father-in-law doesn't care about that, and will probably wake me up if I oversleep even a little. Here, breakfast is ready. What? What's this? The eggs are loose. And croissants? Don't be ridiculous. I have to eat vegetables in the morning. I'm sorry. Why can't you make a decent breakfast? You are useless. My father-in-law abused me like this from the very first day we moved in together. It was like watching my husband on our first day of marriage. It was easy to see that my husband's attitude was influenced by him. That means I have to deal with these two every day from now on. Hey, why didn't you wake me up? I'm 15 minutes late from my wake-up time. Oh, sorry, Ken. Your father told me to wash the dishes. Huh? Are you blaming my dad now? What's wrong, Ken? Dad, listen. Iris just blamed you for forgetting to wake me up. What? You're making me look bad? How dare you? No. I didn't mean like that. Shut up. Don't talk back to me. Until Ken and I say it's okay to open your mouth, you don't talk. I was speechless. My father-in-law was even more worse than my husband. So my husband took advantage of it, and together, they blamed me even harder. I was mentally exhausted. To make matters worse, my husband and father-in-law have different tastes in things. I have to do chores for each of them. Why do you make me say the same thing over and over again? You have no brain? You're such a worthless woman. That's how my father-in-law abused me. When my husband and I lived together, he never used this kind of abusive languages. But my father-in-law is relentless in his denial of me. I don't know why he has to say that much. But I was too exhausted to make a decision to leave. One of the reasons was that my parents had already passed away and I had no home to go back to. My husband and father-in-law's daily bullying caused me some physical problems. I lost 10 pounds in the last month. I was not chubby to begin with, but rather on the thin side of the scale. And yet I've lost so much weight. I guess I was being pushed to near my limits without realizing it. Then I heard that my sister-in-law Holly was coming back for a couple of weeks. I was very happy to see my sister-in-law for the first time in a long time. It had already been a year since my mother-in-law's funeral. During that time, I had not seen my sister-in-law once. Maybe seeing her and talking to her would make me feel a little better. That's what I thought. I'm home! I heard my sister-in-law's cheerful voice at the same time as the front door was unlocked. Welcome home. Dad, you must have put on some weight. No, I don't think so. Welcome home, sis. Ken, hi. How's work? Yeah, good. Hi, Holly. It's been a while. Good to see you. Iris, I missed you so much. Holly is a very cheerful person. Just the presence of her makes the atmosphere in this house so much brighter. Even my father-in-law, who's usually so cold to me, is smiling. Iris, let me help you with stuff. No, you must be tired after a long flight. Please, take a rest. It's okay. I'd rather move around. My body has become stiff from the flight, you know? Really? Thank you very much. Well, then will you help me make tea? Got it. Since my sister-in-law's bright smile, I naturally smile too. I wonder how long it's been since I had a conversation with a smile like this. We all enjoyed talking with my sister-in-law over a nice tea. Then my father-in-law asked my sister-in-law, Holly, what do you want to eat for dinner? Well, I'm feeling barbecue is good. How's that? Great. Let's have a barbecue for dinner then. Yay! I'm already getting hungry. Well, then, I'm going to go get some food. Make sure you get plenty of the good stuff, okay? Yes, I'll do that. And I was getting ready to go out. My sister-in-law asked my husband with a curious look on her face. What, Ken? You're not going with her? What? Why? Why? Do you want Iris to carry all the grocery and the stuff all by herself? You're her husband. Normally, you should go with her and carry the heavy stuff, right? No, why should I? She's a housewife. That's her job. What? What are you talking about? Forget it. I'll go with her. My sister-in-law sighed and she followed me. My husband didn't seem to understand why she was upset. As we picked out the groceries together, she apologized to me. Iris, I'm sorry. Kane's such a stupid brother. It's all thanks to you doing the housework for him, that he can devote himself to work with no worries. He doesn't understand that at all. Does he? Iris, you should speak up when he's like that, you know? I wish I could speak my mind like my sister-in-law. But 1 against 2 is a no-win situation. After getting what we needed for dinner, we went home. I'll get ready for the barbecue. Please, take a shower first, Holly. Okay, thanks. While my sister-in-law was in the shower, I cut up the food and set the table in the yard. And when she came up, I lit the fire and started grilling the food. Oh, I feel so refreshed. I love it when the food is ready. Glad you're happy. I'll bring some cold beer. Wait a second. And just as everyone was seated, the meat started to cook nicely. Let's eat. My father-in-law said so, and everyone started to eat the barbecue. What? Why aren't you eating, Iris? My sister-in-law asked me curiously, as I just sit and watched everyone eating. I am not allowed to eat. That is why. It's gonna be a waste of money if I eat. Huh? My father-in-law and my husband never allow me to eat expensive food because they say my food expenses are a waste of money. So the expensive meat I bought today doesn't include my portion. I'll have the leftover vegetables. When I answered honestly, my sister-in-law stared at the two men with furious eyes. Dad, Ken, what are you guys doing? What's the matter, Holly? What are you upset about? My father-in-law and husband were surprised at my sister-in-law's sudden anger. Is this a joke? Why isn't Iris allowed to eat? When my sister-in-law asked that, my father-in-law and husband looked at her, with puzzled look on their faces. That's because she is just a housewife, and doesn't earn any money. That's right. She doesn't deserve to eat good food. My father-in-law and husband said that, as if it was something absolutely right. Then my sister-in-law got up and yelled at them. You guys are such assholes! What do you think you are? She is not your slave. Because she takes care of everything around the house. You can live your life in peace. Why don't you feel a little gratitude? That's how my sister-in-law scolded my father-in-law and husband. But it doesn't seem to affect them at all. Because husbands provide. So it's the wives who should feel grateful. No, Dad. That's how you made Mom suffer too. Did you know that? What? Suffered? Of course not. Yes. Mom seems to be in pain because you were always yelling at her. You don't even realize you've caused her pain. And you, Ken, you too. You are an asshole. You're just as disgusting as Dad. I won't be surprised if Iris leaves you. No, she won't. Iris can't live on her own without me. Then, something inside me snapped, as I was seeing my husband's triumphant face. Ken, let's get a divorce. Your sister's right. I'm dumping you. What are you talking about? I won't allow you to do that. I don't care if you don't allow me. I will stop being a slave here and now. With that, I got up and started to pack my things. My sister-in-law helped me. Iris, let's go to my friend's house. Let's take this food and have a barbecue at her place. We went to the front door and put on our shoes. Hey, are you leaving? For real? Yes, I can't do this with you anymore. Let's talk about the divorce through a lawyer. When I said that, my sister-in-law continued. The reason I came back this time is that I was going to tell you about my engagement. I was thinking about having you meet my fiancé, but that's not gonna happen. I am never coming back to this house again. When my sister-in-law said this, my father-in-law turned pale. We ignored them and left. Then, we went to my sister-in-law's friend's house and had another barbecue. After that, my husband and I got divorced without incident. I was able to get a new job, and I'm now working and living comfortably in an apartment. By the way, my ex-husband and ex-father-in-law can't do housework, so their house has become a dump. The neighbors complained so much that the police even came out to investigate. My ex-husband has completely lost his sense of cleanliness, and it seems to be having a negative impact on his job. On top of that, my ex-father-in-law fell and broke his leg in the dump. I think they got what they deserved. By the way, I've been friends with my ex-sister-in-law ever since. I recently took my first trip around to her country, and she showed me around. I'm going to keep her as a good friend for a long time to come. Thank you for watching until the end. Please subscribe to our channel if you like. See you in the next video.